I'm officially in ketosis. I have been blowing on my BioSense breathalyzer, which measures, I think it measures acetone. It calls it ACEs is what it measures. And I've been measuring for the last several days, kind of, I think, higher than it can measure. I've been blowing, like it gives a number between 0 to 40, and it's just been saying high for me and then logging as 40. And I took my ketones and it's just saying high. I don't even have a number. And I'm looking at my app and it's saying that I'm at 40, which I think is the highest you can get. So I don't really know what this means. Is this not good? Just says high. And on here, it's saying that I just blew 40. Although there isn't anything above 40. So I'm perhaps above 40. So I don't really know what that means. Perhaps I need to eat some carbs? I don't know. I'm going to ask Nicole about this. What do I do when I'm in high? I don't know what that means. I'm definitely in high ketosis, which essentially means that my body has switched fuel sources from using carbohydrates and glucose to burning fat and ketones. So just a little recap on how I got to this point. Basically, we did a week of just tracking what I typically eat without changing a thing, just to get what my macros were, how many carbs I was typically eating on a regular basis. And then from there, we did another week where we reduced, basically cut in half my carb intake. So I was taking in about 60 to 70 grams of carbs per day. I did that for just under a week and it was feeling really good. And I was feeling like it wouldn't be a big adjustment to cut my carbs more. So I cut my carbs down to the specified for medical keto 20 grams of net carbs per day. And I've been doing that roughly 20 grams of net carbs per day for about 4 to 5 days now. And basically that entire time I've been blowing this high level of ACE score on the breathalyzer. A lot of people typically experience what's referred to as the keto flu when they're transitioning to burning fat from burning carbohydrates. And it is something that I experienced the last time that we did keto. But it's kind of interesting to note that I really haven't been experiencing it this time. We looked up what some of the symptoms typically are, and it includes things like headache, fatigue, nausea, and irritability, often resembling flu-like symptoms. And it says it typically occurs during the initial phase as the body adjusts to the low carbohydrate intake and shifts into ketosis, a state where it primarily burns fat for energy. So things that it recommends are staying hydrated and ensuring sufficient electrolyte intake can alleviate these symptoms. And so, again, I really haven't experienced much of these symptoms really at all. And I'm very grateful for that. But I think some maybe contributing factors are that Nicole has suggested that I take specific supplements. So every day I'm taking a multivitamin that includes specific vitamins and minerals that are good for me, I guess, and what I need. So in the multivitamin, I'm taking magnesium 3 times a day, and I'm taking potassium 3 to 4 times a day. And I think that that has really been helping. Some more things that I've been experiencing, in this first week or so of being in ketosis are, I've kind of been surprised. I've caught myself a few times just thinking, wow, I feel really good. And what I mean by that is referring to things like feeling increased mental clarity, which is not something I typically experienced very much at all. My baseline has, for the longest time, just kind of been a bit of brain fogginess. That's just kind of been my experience. And that seems to have improved. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's as a result of being in ketosis. Perhaps it's as a result of cutting out things like grains and gluten, which is what Nicole was saying was kind of bad sometimes for mental health. I'm not sure, but it's something that I've noticed. I've also noticed that I've just kind of felt like I have increased capacity. Capacity has been kind of a buzzword and something that I keep coming back to on this channel over the last year or so. And it's something that I've struggled a great deal with is, having reduced capacity and figuring out how to deal with that and manage that. But over the last several days, maybe even week, I don't really know how to explain it. I have just felt kind of increased capacity. I felt more able to
keep up with things around the household. I mentioned it with our kids. Rob says it's too early to make any note of this because we just got our kids back yesterday, but I just feel taking care of other people, taking care of my responsibilities, that I have this slightly increased capacity to do so. So that's just something that I'm noticing, and I will keep updating as to how that progresses or what that looks like throughout the rest of this process. If it does end up being something that is as a result of being in ketosis, I'm not sure at this point, but it is something that I'm noticing. Something that's been a little bit harder is that maybe perhaps this feeling of mental clarity and more capacity has also been affecting my bedtime routine, where I lie down and close my eyes to go to sleep, and I just feel wired and not sleepy at all. And it feels like it's a challenge to fall asleep. When I actually look at how quickly I fall asleep, I'm not sure it's actually that big of a deal, and I don't think it's really impacting my sleep that much, but it is a difference that I'm noticing in terms of how I feel at the end of the day when I lie down to go to bed. Usually I'm sleepy and tired and ready to go to sleep right away, but now I'm feeling kind of wired and more energy. So something to maybe kind of monitor, because I have heard from professionals that like kind of the mania and insomnia is something to kind of watch out for when in ketosis. So we'll monitor that and update that as that progresses. It's not really much of a problem right now, though. I am still able to fall asleep and get a good night's rest. And just a couple more things that I've noticed. I remember the last time we were on keto and in ketosis, we couldn't believe how clear and like glowing our skin was. And I'm beginning to see that happening again, where my skin is clearing up. It's becoming smoother and more glowy. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not wearing any makeup right now, and it's something that I'm noticing where my skin is improving. I'm also feeling a lot less bloat, and I'm noticing, just a lot less bloating in the stomach area, and that's felt good too. It's been a really big shift, kind of changing our food, how we think about the food that we buy, that we have in our pantry, in our fridge. And, cleaning out our pantry was actually a really, really big task that we tackled this week, or maybe Rob tackled more than I did, where we really took stock of what is in our pantry, what can we get rid of that we're just not going to be able to touch anymore and that we won't use for the kids either. And we did a kind of massive overhaul of our pantry. The fridge is next, but basically, we got rid of all of the really carb-heavy foods, sugary foods, and just kept staples that we will be continuing to make for the kids.
Rob did this. Rob did a really good job. Look at what Rob did. I don't think our pantry has ever looked this good. So there's still carby stuff because our kids are not going full keto. They will still be eating kind of more keto with us, but like this kind of whole shelf is keto friendly or keto products. And then this kind of whole shelf is carb central for the kids. So this is stuff that we will still pull from for the kids. This is, of course, their candy collection. Couldn't get rid of that. But, and then there's cereals and stuff and some more carbs down there. But then up here is like protein powders, collagen, that sort of stuff. Just move some stuff around because Rob didn't do a good job, actually. Kidding, he did a great job. But move the country time lemonade and the hot chocolate to the carby shelves. And moved the spices because a lot of the spices we actually can't eat because they have sugars or, carbs in them. So kept those on the carby shelves. Moved our vitamins up to our keto-friendly shelf. And baking stuff up there. That's not for us. And then these, I don't know, like nuts that are generally okay to eat. I think I really only stick to the macadamia nuts because they're lowest in carbs. But then kids' vitamins,
tea, sleepy time is the best. We just tried to really kind of streamline our pantry in an effort to make this process easier. And I think that that's something that is probably important to do when you're making a big life change like this, is figure out, okay, what can I change to make this process easier on myself? And that was one of the things that we identified as potentially making it easier. We need to tackle the fridge next and kind of do the same thing. But it's felt really good to have an organized pantry that we kind of know what's keto, what's not, and where everything is like that. The last time that we did keto, I did experience the keto flu, and it made things that are really big parts of my life, like running and exercise, really, really difficult. I just felt so fatigued and lethargic, and it was a really big challenge to do stuff like that and to continue running. This time, like I said, I haven't really experienced the keto flu, and I'm grateful for that. I've been running throughout the week, and it's felt pretty good.
So like another run, full keto. Mm-hmm. How do you think it's going to go?
I went for a run yesterday that was like really, really easy pace, sticking to like zone 2 heart rate, which was fine. I had no problems at all. I felt energetic and it was great. I might go a bit faster today, pushing it a little bit and see how that feels, mostly because I can't control my pace and I just speed up when I go on my own. And I'm going on my own today. I went with friends yesterday.
So do you think you're going to feel more tired?
Probably, but honestly, like, I've done higher pace runs this week too, and it's felt fine. I'm a little surprised because the last time we did this, there was like a huge amount of fatigue, and running felt really, really difficult. So I don't really know what's going on this time, where I'm not really experiencing much of the keto flu, but
could it be that the supplements that you're taking, the potassium and magnesium,
could be the supplements I'm taking.
Electrolytes?
Could also be that I had a relatively low carbohydrate intake before starting keto. Like, I was kind of surprised at how low my carbs were. It was nowhere near being keto and like a low carb diet, but it was, relatively speaking, to most people, lower in carb. So I wonder if that helped me get into ketosis quicker. And also just the amount that I exercise, I wonder if that helped me get into ketosis quicker as well.
Okay.
I'm metabolically flexible.
Okay, have a good run.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you, Mom.
Love you. One more thing. Poops on keto are pretty good. Much, much improved since being on keto. And perhaps that's TMI, but I also feel that sharing bits like that about dietary changes and health interventions is important because it factors into how it's all going. So, 10 out of 10.
Congrats on the poop.
Thanks. So that felt a lot harder than it usually does for me. I did go faster than I went yesterday, but it was still what should have been a pretty easy pace for me. And it felt a lot harder. Like, I'm quite glad to be done. I did 8K, which usually is not that big of a distance for me, but it felt hard and I'm very glad to be done. And my heart rate was higher than it is usually. So I don't know, my body's still probably adjusting. And I was actually advised by a nutritionist who specializes in keto for athletes. And she told me to stay in zones 1 and 2 of, heart rate activity while I'm getting adjusted to being on keto and during the transition. And hopefully we'll be able to have an interview with her more in depth about, incorporating athletics into the keto diet as well later on. But I should have listened better to her, and I will be listening better to that advice moving forward in this transition period and kind of keeping it a little bit easier efforts. And that's kind of where I'm at in terms of the progression into ketosis. I think that I took it, I've been taking it really, really seriously, measuring and recording every single thing that I'm putting into my body, being really meticulous about how much carbs I'm taking in and making sure that it's all, under 20 net grams and making sure that I'm getting enough fat and protein and whatnot. But today we kind of tried to do something a little bit different, and we tried to figure out how to incorporate some more treat-like items. And so this is what happened.
Oh. Oh.
Can I try?
We got a new camera and it's cool. Hello!
Hi, YouTube!
We're going to Starbucks. We thought we'd bring you along because my keto coach, Nicole, sent me a link to keto-friendly options at Starbucks. I kind of just thought that Starbucks was not, or like, you know, fancy beverages like that are just not something that we can do anymore. But this list gives you all the instructions for how to order drinks that are around 5 grams of carbs or less. So that's still a lot when you consider that I'm only having 20 grams of carbs a day, but it's doable and there's no sugar or anything in them. So we're going to give it a shot.
Yay!
Hi there, welcome to Starbucks. What can I get for you?
Hi. Okay, could I please get a grande, okay, sorry, I'm gonna look at how to order this. Can I get a grande Americano, but with only 3/4 of the water, and the last quarter to be a large splash of heavy cream steamed? Is that possible?
So that was a grande Americano,
Yeah.
and then less water, and then you wanted your milk, your cream steamed?
Yeah, is that possible? The heavy cream
Do that
steamed?
for you.
Okay.
Heavy cream steamed, yeah.
And then 2 pumps of, do you have sugar-free peppermint?
No, unfortunately, the only sugar-free option we have for syrups is our vanilla.
Okay, sure. 2 pumps of that then, please.
In your Americano?
Yeah.
Anything else for you today?
Yes, can I please also get a grande iced coffee, but with no classic syrup and extra ice, and then 3 pumps of the sugar-free vanilla syrup? I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, these are ridiculous, but then also 3 shots of heavy cream in it, and then all of that blended if possible?
Yep.
No frappe base or anything though.
So this iced coffee, no plastic, 3 pumps of sugar-free vanilla,
Yeah.
and then 3 heavy cream. What else was in there? Sorry.
I think that's everything.
And then blended, right?
Blended, yeah. So extra ice if it needs to be, yeah.
Anything else for you today?
Yes, also tall hot chocolate, just regular.
You got it.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. It's gonna be 1486. Come on up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like a right arse. Okay, so it felt a little bit ridiculous ordering those drinks. And Rob made a good point that I probably should have prefaced it by saying, I'm trying to order a keto drink and there's going to be a lot of requests. Sorry, bear with me, or something, some kind of preface like that would probably be a good idea. Again, like I said, it is technically keto because it is quite low carb. But if you're having a drink like this regularly, that's 25%, more than 25% of your daily allotment of carbs, which can really add up and throw off how you eat. So it is something to be mindful of, but for a treat every now and then, I think it's kind of nice. Yeah. The one thing is that it's like 4:00 in the afternoon and I got so wrapped up in ordering keto that I forgot to order decaf. So that's probably not going to affect my sleep in a metabolically healthy way, but live and learn.
I mentioned that I've had a relatively easy go of getting into ketosis and I haven't really experienced much of the keto flu, and it's been a little bit painless and seamless for me. But Rob is doing it as well, as you know, and he's had a bit of a different experience. He has not gotten into ketosis nearly as quickly. He's still in, I think, low to moderate ketosis based on the ACE scores. He's blowing in the 10 to maybe 20 range. And that is partially to do with the fact that he reduced his carbs a little bit more gradually than I did. And he went to 80 first and then kind of hung out around 40.
30 the last couple of days.
He hung out around 40 or 30 and kind of maybe higher 20s, but he's gotten closer to the 20 net grams of carbs over the last couple of days. But he is definitely, reported feeling more fatigue. And his words, not mine, he's been more irritable as well. I can attest that, yes, he has been more irritable over the last several days.
Better me than you.
But you know what? I feel like my increased capacity has allowed me to deal with it better. So perhaps it was meant to be. He might just have started off in a state that was less metabolically flexible than I did. And that's okay. You know, everyone who tries this is going to be in different spots, and transitioning into burning fat for fuel is going to look different for everyone's specific body and how it works, how their body works. So this is the very beginning of being in ketosis and being fat adapted. And honestly, what I'm experiencing right now makes me quite hopeful for how this is going to go in terms of its impact on my health and my mental health. I don't want to be overly optimistic and completely buy in at this point, but, I really have experienced increased mental clarity and I don't know, maybe even like a reduction of symptoms. Like I haven't been that aware of symptoms over the last week. And so I don't know, I'm hopeful. So I'm really looking forward to continuing to take you along on this journey. And thank you so much for watching this video. Wishing you and your loved ones good health. See you in the next one. Bye.